What's up guys, Chris here from Mainely and today... That's my intro. Here we go. What's up guys, Chris here from Mainly and today I'm going to be doing the long-awaited STX Ultra Power review. This is part 1 of 2. I'm just going to talk through all of the tech specs here, and then hopefully within a week or so I'll do like a big shooting video so you can actually see what I'm talking about, because that'll be helpful. But the first time I recorded this, I lost all my footage literally as it was exporting, so this is round 2. Wish me luck. It's a steamer out here in Minnesota, so excuse me if I'm a little sweaty. The STX Superpower is the latest and most interesting release in the legendary STX Power line. So it started with the, what was it first? We had the Proton Plus, the Proton Power, the Superpower, and now the Ultra Power. And next will be the Super Duper Ultra Mega Special Whoop-de-Doop-de Power. Trademark. So this head is really interesting, right? They're advertising that it will add between 5 and 7 miles an hour to your shot, which is a big claim. It is true. I'll explain the mechanics behind it. Basically what they're doing is they have a very aggressive forward cant, right? So this is, they've been talking about, touting how it was based off of Highlight, which is a really interesting sport. I don't know, just Google Highlight. I don't need to put a clip in. I'm snappy today. I want to go to bed. But basically what they do is they've tweaked the lie of the head, right? And so we've talked about the lie back with the prequel, back with the sequel, even the Hawk. So it typically, heads have been pushed the lie back, right? So the tip of the head has been pushed back below the center axis of the shaft. That pushes the pocket higher and gives it a quicker release, but it also decreases the whip. What STX did here is they actually pushed the lie forward about as drastically as any head on the market. Spare maybe like the Mark IID, I think, has a pretty aggressive one. The 2V is a little bit forward. String King has also talked about the Highlight inspiration in the past, so it's not a unique approach necessarily, but this is about as forward of a lie, I think, really, that you can get in a short stick head. So it is pretty unique in that regard, or extreme, I should say. What that means is it generates more whip in the head, okay? So basically, you are getting the whip from the plastic design and the cant of this head, rather than having to string a really baggy pocket. So I do like that, right? Because you can string a very consistent pocket in the head, very kind of what would be a low whip pattern per se. So it's not gonna be catching very much, but then the head is gonna automatically, tack on probably like 4 or 5 points on the whip scale if you're doing it out of 10. Really has an aggressive whip to it, so messes with passing a little, which I'll talk about, but let's go through the aesthetics of the head. STX didn't really do much crazy with this one. They usually kind of gloss up their heads a lot. Do some pretty cool design features. They kept this one pretty simple, which I honestly like. The power line in the past has been very kind of understated, and they didn't core things out too much, which is good. It's a nice sturdy design, has a 2-strut profile, so they added this second strut here, which is different from the rest of the power lines, right? They all used to have only 1 strut, which isn't great from an engineering perspective, so it's nice that they added this second strut. They have the speed scoop here, so the scoops are really nice. It is a little funky having it sit so flat, so this is really easy for one-handed ground balls and stuff. The one thing I don't like, I'll also quickly just touch on the throat. Nice solid throat, 2 screw holes, straightforward there. Nice and stiff in the bottom section of the head. One thing I really don't like is how they cord out the scoop. It's nice from a shooter's perspective just because it takes some weight out in the scoop. You can move the head a little faster. I think it comes in right at 5 ounces, so it's not the lightest head, but not too heavy, and it's got a nice low center of gravity. But when you have that really cord out scoop with a head that is already inclined to flex because of how ground ball forces are applied to the head, I am a little worried about the durability of this head over time in terms of the lie being increased even more just from wear and tear, which would add almost an unreasonable amount of whip to this head. So I just want to put that out there as a warning. I am a little worried about that. It does have the new Enduraform plastic, which I haven't seen too much. It hasn't been around that long. The Surgeon seems to handle pretty well, and I think that has Enduraform. But I am a little bit worried about the durability of the scoop, and if it does flare in, like I said, it might, that could make this head a little unplayable down the road. But hopefully that doesn't happen. So does this head make you shoot faster? Yes, but so does a head with a lot more whip, right? So you have the same exact pros and cons because of that. The pros being, yes, you shoot harder. Personally, I don't think that makes too much of a difference on the field, right? Maybe you get 1 more goal a game, My worry is that the passing becomes a little less consistent, right? Because this has a lot of whip. Now, basically what you have to do is you have to change your mechanics so you get your hands further back, which is a pretty advanced mechanic. So personally, I wouldn't recommend this to younger players. I would rather you have, maybe 2 or 3 years of high school under your belt, your playing style, you know what you're going for, and you're like, you know what, I want to be a power shooter. I want to learn how to get my hands further back. I do worry though that if you got this head at age 10, 11, it could really encourage some bad fundamentals, which I know STX isn't going to like me saying, but I do kind of worry that, just like with a head with a lot of whip, you get some alligator arm tendencies, you bring everything close to your body just to compensate for the whip that this head has naturally. So I worry about that, but a guy like Ryan Brown would kill it with this head, right? And probably be even better than he's playing right now, just because you can change the pattern so there isn't much catch in the pocket itself. It's kind of similar to the Mirage in that way, but it's a really solid option for a very advanced player. I just wouldn't recommend it for a beginner player at all, and really even an intermediate. I want you to have a very solid fundamental base before you switch this head. So that's about all of the talking points for now. If you have any more questions or what you want to see in that actual field review, put them in the comments down below. Hopefully get it up within a week. I'm going to start doing Sunday uploads consistently, but I'll announce that more soon. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to buy it, click the link down below. Thank you to STX for sending this over. Like, comment, subscribe, the usual. Thanks so much. Catch you guys next time.